Hello, and welcome to yet another deep dive into the latest BT13 reveals. People new to the channel probably don't know this, but my favorite Digimon deck of all time thus far is Beelstar. Ever since I came top 10 with her in BT6 Ultimate Cup, man, it seems like such a long time ago now. In 2021, I have been unable to resist not loving her. After BT6, it's been kind of hard for Beelstar to find her place in most metas. She was actually able to sneak in a bit in BT9 because there was a lot of people playing, Alphamon and Melga, and Beelstar actually happens to have a pretty decent matchup into them, so I was able to etch out a couple of wins at my locals with her. Beelstar currently is struggling in the current meta, where the most meta decks have like protection against deletion, bounce effects, which makes the deck incredibly difficult to play. So Beelstar players has ever since, pretty much try to grab anything they can to continue keeping the archetype alive, because even though this deck came out in BT6, people have really done everything they could to keep playing it, which I absolutely love with this deck, is that it has evolved with the metas going forward. It's currently not that relevant, but it's still my favorite. But however, BT13, there were some recent reveals which I was very surprised at, and it's these three fellows. Gizumon, the Gizumon line. Well, it's Gizumon AT and Gizumon XT, but I will just call them the Gizumon 3, 4, and 5, because that's much more simpler for me to say. I looked at these cards and I just immediately thought, this somehow works in Beelstar. And I think I've actually come up with some value engines you can do with these cards that are absolutely incredible, that increases the tempo of the decks greatly in a way that has not been possible before. And I've seen the current Japanese list of Beelstar. There's a lot of mill versions of the deck, which I'm going to be very excited to try out myself when the Beelzestar starter deck and the BT12 X Antibody Inkmon comes out, because I think that version works well, but this works more in combination with the older value engines, all the on-deletion effects that you do to draw and discard cards. But just like my other videos, it's better for me to demonstrate this instead of just sitting here explaining it. So let's just jump right into it. So we're on the play. Let's start. We'll hatch a Demimeramon that will go into a Tapirmon for 0 on Eldra. Let's play a Mist Memory Boost, putting our opponent to 3, doing its effect, mill top 2, drawing a card. So for this example, let's just say that our opponent puts us to 1, because it's very good tempo-wise to keep the Beelstar player as low memory as possible in their early turns, so we don't flood the boards with value creatures that make us drawing our entire deck, and making Beelstar just so much cheaper early on. So let's promote this Tapir, and let's use one of the new cards. Let's play the level 4 Gizumon, doing its effect. When you would play this card, by deleting one of the level 3 Digimon, reduce the play cost by 4. So we'll choose the target as Tapir, so it will only cost 2, putting us our opponent at 1. Triggers, Tapir, on deletion, draw 1. Demimera, draw 1. Trash 1, trashing a Nailbone. And then we'll do the Gizumon on play effect. We'll be able to draw 2. And trash 2, trashing Howling, and another nail bone. So what has essentially happened here is that we've gotten the same value as a Icemon on deletion, one turn earlier what we should have otherwise, while getting out a dude bigger than Icemon on the field while doing it. Now, the Gizumon actually has some other effects and things on the card, like all turns this Digimon can't digivolve, which essentially doesn't really matter that much. You don't really do that in Beelstar, but it has a kind of interesting undulation. By returning 2 cards with Gizumon in their name from your trash at the bottom of the deck in any order, you may play the next level of him for free from the trash. So not only are you getting essentially the same value here as deleting an Icemon, we're also getting a body, and it has recursion in combination with the other cards that I'm about to show you. Moving on to our next example of what these new cards are capable of is we'll hatch a Demimera, we'll go into a Gabumon for 0, draw a card, and then we'll evolve him into Icemon, putting our opponent to 2. And yeah, just like normally what happens when you start your game off with this amazing start, your opponent will probably always put you to 1. So yeah, we'll draw off turn, we'll promote. And you see, the problem with the Icemon is, since it has jamming, it will never die in the security, as you all well know, even though you probably prefer him doing that. So, what we instead can do is play this new card, the Gizumon level 5. When you would play this card, by deleting one of your level 4 Digimon, reduce the play cost by 6, making him cost 3, putting our opponent to 2. We'll delete the Icemon doing its effect, we'll draw 3, 1, 2, 3, discarding Happy Ball Showering and Nailbone. We'll draw 2, 1, 2. We'll discard the Promote, and the Demimare will draw 1 and trash 1. Let's trash an Icemon. So not only do we now have actually capability of destroying our Icemon on our own conditions, he's also a 9k blocker for free cost. He does have an on-play effect, and for now I don't have any ability to actually show you how the full power of this card, because it says play 1 Akira Kurata from your trash without paying its memory cost. Being able to play a tamer from the trash is amazing, but we currently don't know what even this tamer does. I can't judge the power level of that, but the fact that we can play out a 9k blocker for free, making our opponent unable, because this is our second turn, so they will be unable to poke us early game since it's a 9k blocker, and then when the turn shifts back to us, we're able to smash with him, and he will probably survive in security because he's one of the stronger level 5s in the entire game, like only being out competed by some like early big boys and like Cyberdramon. Also, he has an on deletion that you may play 1 Proto Gizumon from your trash without paying its memory cost, being the level 3. But let's rewind a bit, because we actually can make this a little bit more efficient actually. Like there's a other egg we can use. Pinemon from EX4 that says, on deletion, if it's deleted by anything but battle, you'll gain a memory. Meaning that if we have this stack and we're at 1 and we play out this dude, he'll cost 3 and we'll gain a memory since we destroy the Icemon by an effect, putting our opponent at 1. So there's a seriously actual possibility for Beelstar to destroy their own Icemon on their second turn, putting out in the meanwhile a 9k blocker. Like, that's absolutely disgusting and tremendous, honestly, because Like, I couldn't ask for anything better than this. Like, this is everything you want. You'll be stopping the opponent from doing the early pokes if there happens to be any security cards that are like incredibly good against big stacks, and they just try to poke it away with a rookie, and now you can just block that in the early game. They can't do anything about this big body. Like, that's insane. So let's continue the demonstration with yet another good turn 2 play that you can do with this deck. Is that let's hatch the Pinomon, going into the Elecmon for 0, drawing a card. And this time we'll actually just hard play the Icemon for 4. So in this instance, like, I do this a lot. Like, sometimes it's really good to evolve in, like, evolving racing, but not evolve further into the Icemon, instead just hard playing it so you have another body for early aggro. So when the turn eventually turns back to us, like, whatever they'll do here, it doesn't actually matter because we're gonna be able to do. So they're putting us to 1 memory. They're putting us to 1 memory. We'll promote the Elecmon. Elecmon is just essentially just a ticking time bomb here, because when we play the Gizumon, choosing our Elecmon as a target for its reducing, so it only costs 2, the effects of will gain a memory, since he got deleted by anything but battle. And Elecmon, if our opponent happened to play any level 3 searcher, it's now dead. So, like, that's a pretty good start. We'll do his on-play effect, we'll draw 2. 1, 2, discarding the Howling Crusher and a Dexmon. Then we'll proceed to play the Big Boy, destroying the Icemon, doing its on deletion, drawing 3, discarding 2, Happy Bullet, and a Tapir. And if we were to happen to have the Tamer now, we would have played it as for 3. And all of this to put our opponent at 3, with 2 actually pretty decent bodies while getting the card draw engine going. And the level 3 also have a pretty interesting effect. I wouldn't say they are as good as the other one, at least in this deck. Like, his on-play effect is actually that if we hatch and we play him, we can actually destroy our egg in the breeding zone to reduce his cost by 2, putting our opponent to 1, and we'll draw a card and discard a card. So yeah, like, that isn't very interesting in my opinion, but he does have on deletion. You can place 2 Gizumon in the name for attached to the bottom of your deck in any order to play a Gizumon AT from your trash, which is this little boy over here. So I probably will play like 2 in the beginning to try out, because this one plays out this one plays out this one, and this one plays out this one. So there's kind of a little loop here, while you keep, as long as you have enough in trash and to put under in your deck. So yeah, pretty interesting that they have that kind of synergy. So like for the level 4, the good targets for like the value engines would essentially be like Elecmon, Tapir, and Impmon, since you get the on deletion the value while doing the draw 2 trash 2 and getting a body on the field, while the level 5 over here, the good targets are, well, obviously Icemon, but the Dober as well. So anytime you would happen to have any like jamming problems with your Beelstar creatures, now you actually now have the power to destroy them at your own terms while getting value and getting bodies out on the field, one being a 9k blocker. And, you know, in combination with like the Shine Greymon Ruin mode that a lot of people are playing in Japan right now, you know, the big dude that gives minus 5000 DP to everything, like it's a global effect. So in combination with that, and you have this on field, like this will trade with this will block a Mastermon, for example. So just this card and this card as well, these can be huge. Like I look so forward into playtesting these more, and I'm very excited to find out what the Tamer does, if it's like it does, if it has any kind of like synergy, like these cards have a lot of drawing trashing card effects, so hopefully the tamer also does it well, because that can be an auto include in this deck in that case. And while we're at it, this egg I've been thinking about, since they have a good combination with these cards, making like this cost 2 and this cost 1, like there's a good way to proc it without like deleting your other value engines here. With these two dudes, it will also proc by using the Calling from the Darkness and by cards like the Deathclaw. So if we like build a deck around more of like you deleting your own things, like you can gain memory while doing it, and I think that like maybe this actually will work like a more tempo deck. Like you do afford being more aggressive with the deck, considering that when you smash, even though it doesn't die, you still have an out. And just the fact that these actually have recursion on your opponent's turn, like if you block with this and he dies, you in some instances will be able to play out this guy doing his draw 1, trash 1, and if you have enough and he dies still on your opponent's turn, you will get out this guy and you will draw 2, trash 2. Like, there's some incredible value going on here. I just need to know more of what they're planning to do with these cards, because I see the potential. I see the potential. So when they reveal the Tamer and probably eventually the level 6 for this deck, I will make a new video to see if there's even more potential in this Beelstar engine. And remember to always leave a like, a subscribe. I very much appreciate the support, all of the love, likes, views, and comments. Like, I read everything and I try to respond as much as possible. I'm trying to do my best to listen to feedback, and doing this and seeing people actually liking the content makes my day a lot better, actually. So thank you. So have a nice day. Bye bye.